Welcome back to another day with less anxiety. It's me, Orest, your anxiety coach. It's good to have you. So today I received a call from a concerned father that was really worried about his son because apparently the son has been hearing voices. Voices that are telling him to hurt himself, voices that they are worried might be telling him to hurt himself in a way where there is no coming back from. Now, obviously, I cannot, for privacy and respect, I will not share specific details. But I do think it's a really, really important issue that I would like to talk to you about because I have seen many, many, many of my patients. In fact, I have experienced thoughts that were shameful, embarrassing, stressful, terrifying sometimes, and sometimes just completely just impossible to understand. Like, where the hell do thoughts like this come from when I'm a decent person, when I want to live, when I want to do good things in life? Suicidal thoughts, I don't know, hurting others, doing immoral things, or any of those thoughts that really feel like they are completely out of character for the person that you are, can go through the minds of the healthiest of people. So I think it's really important that we take a look at this issue because I'm actually really happy that this father called, and which means is that there is at least some amount of awareness of these thoughts and that they are looking for help. Even if they don't come and see me specifically, I don't care, but at least they are aware that and there is enough communication for those thoughts to be out in the open, even if they don't understand it yet, even if they think that they're actual voices. Obviously, they are not voices. They are disembodied thoughts of the same person. It is something that this person needs to happen, and this is every single time, in my experience, is the case, is that the person actually needs something to happen or wants something to happen that they have been so disconnected from that they begin to feel like it's an unrecognizable thought. It comes from someone else. It's a thought that I don't understand, that I don't know where it comes from, why I'm thinking things like this. Usually there is disgust, rejection, hate, fear of these thoughts and the power they seem to have on the person that is experiencing them. Now, in my experience, every single time what happens is a thought like this exists because it wants to take care of something that has been ignored long enough that there is no healthy representation of it anymore. For example, one situation that I recall was from a lady that, aside from all of the awful things that happened to their family, basically someone screwed them over. They recommended a lengthy and extremely expensive treatment for a family member, and in the end, after they had to sell like two of the houses in the family, get into crushing that at some, and the person eventually died. All that happened was they prolonged their suffering for over a year, which was devastating. It hurt the relationship. So awful situation, and I'm not even going to get into things that made it even worse. Now, at some point, this person, a daughter, had this thought, and that was one of the major things that needed to be resolved for her to be able to let go of her parent, was that at some point she actually wished for them to die. Now, maybe in this context, you as an outsider might find it a little bit easy to understand what was happening, but it was devastating for her. I mean, imagine they were willing to put up those houses for sale and invest in the therapy and try to get that person to get better. And at the same time having this thought circulating in her mind that she actually wants the person to be dead. It was awful. It was really, really tough for her. Now, this could be a good example to point out what she wanted was not for her parent to die. What she wanted was to be out of this situation. What she wanted for her parent to be well, and definitely to not suffer, because it did involve a lot of suffering. It did involve looking at that person going through, just being an absolute shadow of themselves throughout the entire year. It was horrible. So you can perfectly understand that the thought of wanting them dead was actually had nothing to do with an actual desire to harm the person. It came from a heartfelt desire to see their parent be well, not suffer, not go through all of this. And it was really hard for her to process this thought until we could switch around the understanding to really be able to get what this thought was trying to achieve. It was not trying to cause harm. It was not even an egoistic thought. It definitely came from her desire for her parent to be well. Now, most of the time, in fact, every single time, thoughts that are disembodied, that feel like they're coming from outside, are like this. Now, in her case, it was practically impossible to have a good way of her parent to not suffer. So eventually this thought kind of morphed into this horrific thought that I wish they were dead. But it still comes from a good place. It's been ignored, and every try they tried to achieve the lack of suffering in any other way could not work. So the only possible thought that remembered was the actual relief from this situation, which in that current case actually was the only and the real relief, which was understanding that some stories do have an ending, and we get to be grateful for having had that person, even if we could not just try and keep them longer around, even if they're suffering. So in that case, letting her go eventually ended up being the solution. But yes, the thought itself definitely came from a good place. It just didn't find any other way to express itself. So that's how usually these thoughts can be relieved. And again, this goes back to the idea of accepting thoughts like this. Now, watch out. I'm not saying acting upon them. I'm not saying accepting them at face value. You definitely do not want to follow up on those thoughts. Of course, you do not want to do disgusting, hateful, weird, or inappropriate or illegal things. No, you do not want to do that, and nobody wants to hurt themselves. But accepting the idea that there is some value in these thoughts, and maybe they involve something that has not been expressed in the best of ways, and maybe you could think about these thoughts as a lump of coal or mud or dirt or even just, I don't know, even something really disgusting, that in the middle of it, somewhere, way deep down in the middle, has a nugget of gold. Something valuable, something good, something nice, that just because it could not have been expressed, has all that mud and all those disgusting, smelly things have gotten stuck to it. So you do need to not accept the whole thing, but definitely look for the gold in the center, for something important and something valuable, even if it's very difficult to look at it. Even if the whole thing looks disgusting, there is always something with a good intention, something that is trying to improve the life in one way or another. And if you feel stuck, it feels like it's practically impossible, please do reach out for help. Seek help. I personally love to help people out with thoughts like this. I have experienced them myself. I've helped many people just really find the actual meaning, feel the relief of just how good it feels to understand themselves, begin to find good solutions. So in this particular case, I'd definitely love to help you out or have someone from our team help you out. If not, definitely try to express. Yeah, it's really difficult to say, give you a general advice, because sometimes the morphed version of these, the actual awful thought itself, it can look really tough, and it can be very hard to share with others. But do consider this as a first step, and do reach out for help if they feel overpowering, because there is a solution, there is a way out from there. And I hope you find your solution, or even better, you just never have this kind of thoughts. So wishing you the best with this one. And if you feel like this video can be helpful for others, click the like button so that YouTube shares it with other people. If you suspect that this could be specifically useful for someone, make sure that you share this video with them. If you want to make sure to keep getting advice like this and nice experiences and better mindset ideas, make sure that you're subscribed. And of course, you can leave a comment. And it's anonymous, so you might even share some of those thoughts. I'll try to see if I can help out just like this. And of course, because you did stick around till the end, make sure that you do a little bit of this. You keep investing time in yourself. You come back to these videos. So make sure that you do tell yourself you are doing good, and you are doing good. So keep accepting yourself. Go have a kind day, and see you tomorrow.